Back with another video. It's time for another episode of Every Album Ranked. Today we'll be focusing on the albums by Rage Against the Machine, and I've already done reviews on all of these. Now it's time for me to rank them from least best to overall best. Just as a disclaimer, this does not reflect anyone else's opinion, it's only my personal opinion. Also, we're only going to talk about albums that are part of Rage Against the Machine's discography, so unofficial bootlegs will be excluded. With that out of the way, let's get on with the list. First up, we have the band's self-titled demo tape from '91. I know that other people would exclude this, as if they were to rank all the Rage Against the Machine albums, but this is my list and I'm including it anyway. Let's be clear that this demo tape is not a bootleg, given the fact that it's on YouTube and it's on the XX CD2 version of the band's debut album. This may not be the best Rage Against the Machine album by any means, but you gotta start somewhere. Moving up, we have Live at the Grand Olympic Auditorium from 2003. The actual performance is from 2000, but the album wasn't released until 2003. It is a good album, but not as good as the studio albums. I have heard that the DVD of that performance is said to be better than the album version, and I might get a hold of the DVD someday. And next up we have Live and Rare from '98. My most recent album review focused on this album. I mentioned that it is better than Live at the Grand Olympic Auditorium in some ways. Of course, this is both a live and a compilation album consisting of live tracks and a few rarities, hence the title. Up next we have Evil Empire from '96. This was the first Rage Against the Machine album to be produced by Brendan O'Brien, who I've stated is one of my all-time favorite music producers. It may not be as good as the other studio albums by Rage Against the Machine, but still a very good album nonetheless. Moving forward, we have Renegades from 2000. This album stands out by being the last studio album by Rage Against the Machine, their only album consisting entirely of covers, and their only studio album to be produced by Rick Rubin. Granted, Brendan O'Brien had some involvement when it comes to production. I believe I mentioned in my review that this album was released after Rage Against the Machine disbanded the first time. I still enjoy it though. And the next album is The Battle of Los Angeles from '99. When I reviewed this album, I stated that it's even better than Evil Empire, even has the same producer, Brendan O'Brien. It's still an amazing album after more than 20 years, but there is one Rage Against the Machine album that's even better. Yeah, this is it. My number one pick for the best Rage Against the Machine album is their self-titled debut album from '92. This album stands out by being the band's only album to be produced by Garth Richardson. I don't know what it is, but this album is even better than the band's other work. The meanings behind the songs make a lot of sense. Overall, this is the best album by Rage Against the Machine in my opinion, and I will include it in a future video on the best albums of the '90s. And those are my official rankings for all the Rage Against the Machine albums. I know that not everyone is going to agree with this, but what can you do? If you want to hear me go into further detail about these albums, there's going to be a link to my album review playlist in the description. Now is the part where I question you. What do you think of my rankings for the albums by Rage Against the Machine? How would you rank their albums? What's your favorite Rage Against the Machine album? What's your least favorite of their albums? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video.